Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be talking about actuarial science, which is actually the kind of major I've been studying throughout my bachelor degrees and in some parts of my master's degree as well. So I'm just gonna talk about what actuarial science is and why it's getting pretty popular among international students these days. So just to give you an illustration, when I came to study actuarial in the first place in 2013 at Monash University, there were only like 20 students enrolled in the second year actuarial class. But by the time I reached 4 years later, like when I did my second year in my master's degree, I reckon there were like 120 students, I believe, or even more than that in the second year, the same class, the same actuarial science class. And that's pretty crazy given that the reputation of actuarial science to be really daunting, really tough, and very academically demanding, and so on. So, what actuarial science is all about? Well, basically, it's a unique major that combines your financial knowledge with probability or statistical theory. Let me just give you guys a concrete example. So, for example, um, you are working in a life insurance company and you just sold a life insurance policy to someone. And basically, you need to pay out that guy if he die in the future, for example, in the next 20 years' time, let's say. Well, then, as an insurance company, you need to, in your calculation, you need to find out how likely is he going to die in the next 20 years. And if he die, in which year is he going to die? And also, like, how much do you have to pay out when he die? Because sometimes those payments are, you know, the arrangement for payments can be quite complicated, like it can increase by inflation and so on and so forth. So you need to calculate on that, all that. And on top of that, when you receive money, then you need to invest it somewhere. So you need to kind of also estimate what sort of returns are you going to make on that investment. Would that be enough to give the insurance coverage that the policyholder is asking for? And that sort of questions. So you can see here the theme of an actuarial case is basically related to monetary amount, like in insurance payout, and also some kind of interest rate prediction, because we got investment rates, or sometimes some products are, you know, increases according to inflation rate and so on. And also, we also work with probability because all events are uncertain in nature in actuarial science, like the probability of a person dying, probability of car crash, and so on and so forth. Well, and also actuaries generally they work in insurance companies like life or general insurance or health insurance. But these days, the profession itself has expanded to a number of different areas, like, for example, investment or general data analytics, gambling, and so on and so forth. And pretty much the area is not limited to insurance companies anymore. And so, next question is going to be like, what makes actuarial science so appealing these days? Um, Well, the most straightforward answer, I reckon, is the career prospect, like your future career opportunities. And the demand is definitely there in Australia and overseas, as we can see that most actual graduates tend to earn more than other commerce graduates. And it's mainly because it's a very challenging area. So not everyone can make it to the end of the actuarial major, that's for sure. And in this sense, actuarial is a bit like being a doctor. So the real actuaries, or what we call qualified actuaries, are those who got like 8 years or even 10 years in some cases of education, and it extends beyond your bachelor or master's or even PhD. It got its own set of modules that you have to complete, usually when you are working. So it's a bit like a doctor in the sense that most people qualify like in their 30s or even older than that. And that being said, then it makes sense that those who actually qualify as an actuary will earn much more than um, general commerce professions, mainly just because of the professional hurdle is just massive. Um, Let me give you an illustration. So, in your bachelor degrees, most subjects got a passing rate of like around 40%. So, 4 out of 10 actuarial students who are already those select few students who are brave enough to pursue this major, only 40% can make it. In a master's, same proportion occurs. Only about 40% can make it through the second part. And then once you are working and you pursue the third and the last part, the the passing rate is roughly about 33% or one third. So you can imagine you got 40% in the first part of your bachelor's, and then another 40% in the second part of your master's, and then 33% after that. So given those hurdles, it just makes sense that those who actually become qualified actuaries can make it a lot of fortune at the end of the day. But having said that, that's not the only reason why most people are pursuing actuarial science these days. The second and probably most important reason of all is of the tremendous growth of the actuarial demand outside Australia, like in Asian countries like China, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, other Southeast Asian countries, and those around East Asian as well. The growth there is tremendous. And the reason being is that those kind of jobs are only becoming popular these days. But there aren't many education institutions in Asian countries that provide pathways for actuarial professions. I'll give you an example. So, for example, in Indonesia, um, there were no universities that offer like bachelor degrees in actuarial science. And there is a small profession of actuaries, but the level of education standard is definitely below the Australian actuarial standards. And that's why most employers in insurance industries in Asia generally look favorably toward Australian graduates. And that's why many Asian students are actually pursuing actuarial studies in Australian universities, because simply such majors or such discipline does not exist in most Asian countries. And that's probably the main reason. Like, if you can't find a job in Australia at the end of the day, you might as well take a major that will give you the most benefits when you come back to your home countries in the future, right? And that being said, for that very reason, then most and for that reasons, international students tend to have stronger preference for actuarial science compared to local students. Um, in Australia itself, unfortunately, actuarial fields has been, much more well established. So although it is still a very good field to pursue in Australia, it's not looking as amazing as in other countries. So in Australia, if you compare between actuarial studies and finance, you will find a slight gap between those professions, especially after you graduate, which is kind of expected given, the harder discipline the more remuneration you should earn. But in Asian countries, you can easily earn like more than double or even triple in some cases if you are doing actuaries compared to like other commerce majors that are commonly done like accounting or finance. So that's why I guess lots of international students really prefer actuarial over other kind of studies. And that's why I pursue it in the first place as well, I guess. Um, so, well, I guess that's all that I can share with you guys. Well, I guess that's all that I want to share about actuarial science to you guys. It's a very brief introduction, and I'll promise you guys I will upload more videos on actuarial science in the future. And and just for your information, Monash Business School chose to interview me back then, like 4 months ago, about my experience studying actuarial science at Monash University. So it's a bit of a promotional video that I made in collaboration with some of the Monash University staff. And I put the link of the video down below if you guys interested to check out. Basically, I just share additional things about what I learned there and how it benefits me and a batch of my Indonesian friends. Um, what we got so far from learning actuarial studies and how it affects our career in the future. So yeah, that's all I want to share in this video. And if you like my video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe me from the button down below. Thanks so much guys and see you next time. Bye.